Here's Johnny.
I'll be back.
And you will know my name is the Lord.
I'm walking here. I'm walking here.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
Groovy.
Yeah, like anytime on Imgur anyone posts like, oh, this picture was taken in Wisconsin, the top 20 comments will all be like, I'm from there! Wow, yes! And I'll be thinking the same thing in my head before I scroll down and see those comments, and I'm like, oh, that's a little sad.
That's how I felt whenever I saw the Alabama Leprechaun. Ooh, we're no.
Oh, Saint preserve us.
Mighty nice.
So VHS 2.
VHS 2. That should be the intro of the show now.
Just
Because God didn't want it to happen.
But we prevailed. Fuck you, technology. Also, don't crap out on us, technology. We need you.
I love you, technology.
So much.
I love you, Harry Technology.
Ooh.
Oh, that sounds wrong in so many levels. Just Harry Technology? That sounds disgusting.
That's
It's
what's going to
beautiful
happen
in a
when
way.
technology becomes our masters.
In VHS 3, the trequel. Anyways, if you haven't gathered that much so far, we're talking about VHS 2 today, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Flexo.
Did we start?
Yeah, I don't know how I'm going to edit this, but it's going in just like this.
I haven't been recording.
I've been recording.
I wonder if you got my mic switch in there, though.
I've been recording since I logged on, or this conversation started, so...
Well, this is going to be awkward.
Oh.
Do you want me to record as well?
Yeah, sure, why not?
I'm going to go ahead and be devil's advocate here and say I'm not going to record.
Ooh. See, this is just like the Titanic. If it just had one more hull, it would have been fine.
I'm not going to play by the book. This is seriously going to be the show.
I think it should be. I think so. It's the found footage angle for podcasts.
I like it.
Joining me today, James Lewis.
Who didn't know he was being recorded?
Dun dun dun. And Mike Napier. Also didn't know he wasn't being... What, huh?
I did, though.
What? What? And then there's a bunch of interference. Someone drops the camera, and we just go to a different story.
I have been a ghost all along.
Oh, that's okay. I've been a robot.
Oh, we knew that.
Yeah, that's not
But a robot ghost. You didn't let me finish.
No!
ghost.
What did
You said...
Hey, baby, it's just transmission oil.
Hey, if a robot with AI dies, could it become a ghost?
Depends. Are souls real or fake?
Fake.
Then why not?
I'm not putting much thought into this.
I'm just saying, if there's no souls but people still have ghosts, then why not robot ghosts?
I mean, it's a fun thing to say.
Robot ghosts? Oh, yeah. Did you guys ever see the trailers for Ghost Shark from Sci-Fi?
No, I
You've
heard they were
told us
made.
about this.
Yes, it's... Okay, I'm going to tell everyone about this now. I haven't seen it, so it's just the idea is amazing to me. There's a dead shark, and it comes back to kill people as a ghost, but it can only attack people from water. So, like, if you're on a slip and slide, the ghost shark could pop up and eat you as you slide down the slip and slide. Or if you're taking a shower, it could pop out of the shower and eat you that way. Or if there's a leak in your sink.
That is a terrifying idea.
Right?
Surprise shark.
Bump, 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 bump in your sink.
What I want to know is what makes this shark so vengeful? What makes this shark, out of every other shark that's ever lived, the shark that comes back?
I haven't seen it, man.
Isn't it? I think it's possessed by, like, a dead teenager. Like a dead
Wait, how can a ghost be possessed by something?
I don't know. That's what it was explaining. Yeah. I didn't write the fucking movie. Why not? If a ghost can, if a shark can be a ghost and come out of a goddamn slip and slide, why not be? Actually, that would be amazing. Can we do a series of films that's a ghost being possessed by another ghost? That's a hell of a concept.
Get out of my incorporeal body.
I mean, what exorcist do you call for that?
Beetlejuice.
The ghost of an exorcist. Father Marin, get over here, quick.
He just shows up at the gates of hell with a suitcase.
Tubular Bells starts playing.
It's like the inception of exorcist movies.
Boom.
No,
Oh, right. Exorcism. I can't really think of a segue back to VHS 2, so here's one.
but
Oh. Yep.
much like an actual found footage movie, we're just improving here.
I was gonna scat, but then I didn't. So.
Thank God.
Bop bop bop. Oh, surprise scat. Anyways.
Never say
Nobody
surprise
wants to
scat
see
ever
surprise.
again.
No, that sounds horrible. You're right. We need to get off this tangent. VHS 2. Damn right. So I'm assuming everyone out there has seen VHS 1. If you haven't, it doesn't really matter. You can just jump right into VHS 2. If you're listening to this and you haven't seen VHS 1 or 2, I'm pretty sure they're on Instant. You should probably watch them and then listen to us. But fuck it. If you want to anyways, I don't care. Go ahead.
Spoilers. VHS is slightly fuzzy at the end.
No.
Yes. Also spoilers, apparently the wraparound segment of this is a prequel to the first VHS, despite this being called VHS 2, and not really containing any other narrative connective tissue.
How can it be a prequel to the first VHS?
I was listening to the commentary, and Simon Barrett seemed a little confused and hazy when he was explaining this, but he was saying that the wraparound segment is a prequel to the first VHS wraparound segment. And that the kid with the blown apart jaw is the same one that appears in the wraparound segment for VHS 1 in the basement.
But we know that because some of the video they find on the computer is the video that we see at the beginning of the first VHS.
He was saying that tape of the kids running around and breaking into stuff was this kid watching those kids as potential targets, and they'll become targets in VHS 1. So somehow they got this tape and they started watching it before VHS 1 happened. I don't fucking understand it. He claims it's a prequel.
I'm not expecting the mythology of the VHS films to be deep and understanding, but what the fuck?
It was just so funny because Simon Barrett's trying to explain this like, oh, it's kind of confusing, and Adam's like, Adam Wingard pretty much like, yeah, I don't get it. Okay.
It's bad when the other person who made the movie doesn't get it.
Right. So I would like them to get more into this mythology, but then again, maybe not, because it'll just get so confusing.
Which is somehow better.
I mean, what is our understanding of the mythology? How the fuck does this work?
I would say at least you could kind of wrap your head around the wraparound segment in VHS 2. I don't even know what the wraparound in VHS 1 was.
No one does.
Why was there a naked guy for a second?
Why not?
Like, it's not... It's worse when... I mean, you were as confused as the characters were at that point.
Yeah.
What the fuck did I just watch?
I was having a hard time telling the characters apart. At least in VHS 2, one has boobs and one has a dick, so it makes it easier.
That's all you ever need.
Yeah.
I get it, Mike. Just because they're all white, you can't tell them apart, you racist.
Whatever, honky.
But I don't know. The wraparound segment in the first VHS was probably the second weakest part of that film to me. So I feel like... I don't know. It's... The end segment of the wraparound is pretty entertaining.
Yeah.
But it's still hilarious when the private investigator finds his girlfriend dead and he just goes, I should put in another tape.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm confused.
Well, she did say, watch this. It was her final request.
And then it gets done and he just looks confused like, alright.
Like, that's why I feel like Safe Haven should have gone last, because at least then it would have been like a more hardcore one to end on for the watch this tape. It seems weird that she's like, watch this alien abduction slumber party tape.
Yeah. Yeah.
Watch this
Like,
kid jack off.
Could you imagine like
I'm so
his
confused and
confusion
saddened
at the
by this
beginning?
dog death.
Could you imagine his confusion at the beginning of that one, where it's like, why am I watching these kids play douchey pranks on each other?
Put in another one. I'm curious.
At least that wraparound made some kind of sense.
It had a good ending.
Like-
at least.
Yeah, the ending I think was much stronger this time.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I get it. It's an evil collection of videos that turns people into zombies.
If you watch them in a special order, and apparently there's a bunch of collectors who are really eager for this.
Because we're the YouTube generation.
Well, I mean, it's Eternal Life. Granted, Eternal Life without a jaw, but...
Yeah, they were kind of talking about that in the commentary where they're like, apparently the collectors are seeking some sort of immortality in a way, and the kid realizes if he messes with the order of watching the tapes, he can possibly get it. and he wasn't expecting it to be so gory when he blows his jaw apart, which seemed kind of obvious. If you shoot yourself in the face, there's going to be aftermath.
Fucking teenagers, man.
Although there is that moment where he's kind of surprised and he, sits up and he's holding like the piece of his jaw and he's like, "Oh fuck." I'd imagine it'd be something like that, but with less enunciation.
I'll never have a cheeseburger again.
Never.
I don't know, I seemed pretty goddamn happy when he gave that thumbs up.
He did.
It's like, I'm gonna be able to eat pussy so well now.
Ooh, that is one of, not eating pussy, but that is one of my favorite parts of this movie. Is just those moments of fun where it's like, it can seem pretty dark when there's a guy who commits suicide on camera, but then he strangles a dude and gives a thumbs up to the camera and we get like a really catchy end song. So, it all feels like a good time in the end.
No, from now on, I want every movie I end, every movie I see.
That's the movie.
Taking an axe to the movie. Oh!
From now on, I want every movie I see to just end with a smash cut to the credits with found footage playing. I love that we're at a point in cinema where there's a tribute song to found footage movies.
Golden Age.
I also like how this is when, I think next to Return of the Living Dead, this is the only movie that ends with a highlight reel. Every boob, every headshot.
All right. It does kind of feel like a golden age for anthology films. They're coming back, which is awesome for me because I love anthology horror. So I'm hoping we get a VHS 3 at some point. I mean, how expensive can it be to make?
I think they already announced there's a VHS 3.
Oh, yeah.
They have to come up with another Skull logo poster.
I'm confident they'll find a way. The posters have been fantastic for this series.
The first VHS poster is one of my favorites.
Just all the white tapes against the black background?
Yeah.
It's so stark.
I'm pretty partial to the VHS 2 cover.
It does look pretty cool.
It does. They're all nice.
The film itself.
Right. I guess let's just do a quick breakdown of what the film contains, just because some of the names can get a bit confusing. Tape 49 is the wraparound segment, which I'm sure we'll all just call the wraparound segment.
Yes.
Next up, Phase 1 Clinical Trials, which is the one with the guy with the robot eye that allows him to see ghosts.
And boobs.
And ghost boobs. Mostly just regular boobs.
Well, they weren't ghost boobs.
He had the ability to see them if he wanted. He wasn't trying hard enough. Next up was a Ride in the Park, which is the GoPro Zombie found footage.
Fucking awesome.
Yeah, actually a lot of fun. Followed by Safe Haven, which I'm pretty sure is Mike's favorite.
I think that's everybody's favorite.
I am going to go against the grain and say it's not my favorite.
Get the fuck out.
Just leave the podcast. And then the last segment, Slumber Party Alien Abduction, which is obviously the one set in a slumber party where there's aliens.
Best title of any movie. I'm kind of disappointed they all don't have titles like that.
Just very descriptive, like, this is what this is.
That just sounds like a bootlegged VHS tape you'd find somewhere.
Crazy Indonesian murder cult.
I should have had the titles scribbled on the actual tapes. That would have been great.
Oh, man.
Save it for 3.
There's always room for improvement. But I guess
They go to space.
going against, I mean, you guys both love Safe Haven, but I think Phase 1 Clinical Trials was my favorite.
Really?
Yes. You guys didn't care for that one as much?
It was good. That was just the one that left the smallest impression on me.
Oh, really?
That's my least favorite. I mean, it's still fun, so it's not like it's not like the first movie where the ones I don't like, I never really want to watch again.
Yeah.
Clinical Trials is fun. Like the worst stuff, even though pretty much everything in the movie's good, but the worst stuff is at least still fun. It's still enjoyable to watch. But
Yeah.
I know it was like the one I didn't really care for. It just felt more like a kind of just like, hey, look, I put a camera in my eye, and there's ghosts, and there's boobs, and then it's over.
I don't know. With VHS 1, it felt like when a segment was really good, it was really, really good, and when it was terrible, it was like, oh, why?
Yeah.
Stop it.
It was just...
With VHS 2, they're all pretty good, I think. All the segments are much higher quality, but I don't feel like the highs get quite as high as maybe like the ending of the first segment in VHS 1 with the succubus. Like, that segment to me was pretty fantastic all around. Or the ending one with the haunted house. Like, that was fucking awesome.
Haunted House was my favorite.
Yeah.
I didn't care much for the succubus one. Maybe because it just went on too long for me.
It does. I feel like the ending half of it is pretty good, though. But anyways, with Clinical Trials, like, I don't know, I really enjoyed it. It got the most jumps out of me. You know, when I watched it with the volume cranked up, I thought the effects were pretty cool. Like when he pulls the blanket back and the form of the ghost disappears into the blanket.
Oh, yeah, all the effects in this movie are really good.
Yeah, apparently that was a practical effect.
Yeah.
Which I thought was neat. I guess that's one of the best parts about the movie, since it's fairly low budget and found footage. A lot of this stuff they just kind of have to, you know, make up on the go or do a cheap way around it instead of getting some really shitty, you know, CGI, except for maybe in Safe Haven, a spot or two.
There's a little bit of CGI in Safe Haven, and
I mean, it does exist. There are parts with some CGI I just don't care for, but...
Yeah, there might have been actually some in GoPro Zombie one, or in a park.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. I think it definitely helps that every segment in this one feels like it's a complete idea. Like any of these you could see expanded into its own movie.
Yeah, like Safe Haven could be its own movie.
Yeah. I don't know, Phase 1 Clinical Trials, it was like, in the first one, you know, I didn't really get attached to any of the characters or even care about them anyway, know their name or anything. Whereas in Phase 1 Clinical Trials, I don't know, maybe it's just because I enjoy Adam Wingard's humor, but I found it like a really interesting character to kind of follow around where he's kind of an asshole, but not really. It's like a weird in-between for the guy.
Yeah. I mean, it was just fun. I mean, it was more of like a comedy segment more than anything else.
Yeah. I don't know,
that's all it was
appreciate
trying
that.
to be. Like, there was barely any explanation of what the hell's going on or how any of it works, just enough to make you not question anything.
Yeah. And I mean,
That's what's good about short stories. You don't have to explain anything.
Exactly. You just get right to the fun stuff.
Like, she dies for no reason at all. I mean,
well,
there's just stuff happens. That's pretty much it.
The story there was, I guess she murdered her uncle after he molested her, the fat naked ghost.
Yeah, I got that.
So that was him getting his revenge, but I don't know why the other ghosts are helping out, or... Yeah, fuck it, who cares? It's just fun.
Why her uncle decides to do it then.
Yeah, I've been waiting.
Why boobs make him go away? You like how they continue VHS's proud tradition of random, out-of-nowhere nudity.
That was one thing I've heard people complain about, and not the nudity so much, but just how the tone of the first one seems very misogynistic. Which, I don't know, I feel like the guys in the movie are pretty terrible too, so it kind of balances out.
Yeah.
Like, you're not supposed to watch VHS 1 and be like, oh man, those guys are so cool. You're supposed to watch and be like, man, those are douchey bros. I should not be like them.
I should not smash those windows.
Go around parking lots lifting women's shirts up. It's wrong.
I mean, that was the problem with the wraparound segment in the first one, was that they were just total douches.
Yeah, pretty much.
Granted, the PIs are kind of horrible in this too, but at least they don't go over the top with it.
At least they came off like adults, at least. Yeah, was that.
It is always, whenever you don't have a ton of time to establish characters, it's way faster to just make them unlikable than likable. Because even an unlikable character is still a character.
Plus, with found footage, almost every single character will be dead by the end of it, so you don't have to feel bad about killing them off. Actually, does anyone survive any of the segments? Trying to think about it. Wraparound, everyone.
Yeah, Safe Haven.
Yeah. But he's not happy about it.
No, a lot of snot and drool mixing together.
Well, he's gonna have his own kingdom in the new world.
Yeah, so there you go.
I guess the ghost in Phase 1 Clinical Trial could have just shoved the camera down the main dude's mouth and then been like, well, good enough for one night, and left, but...
They just wanted to break his camera eye.
Yeah, come on, that was new.
That amazing camera eye with a built-in microphone.
Yeah. Someone mentioned that, and I was like, oh, that kind of ruined some of the magic.
Yeah, you don't realize it until someone mentions it. Like, oh, that is weird.
Yeah. Damn. Thanks a lot, pal.
The explanation is that corporation was just ran by perverts.
I do find it funny,
They sent
too.
that lady over there.
Like, the first time I watched the movie, I didn't notice some of that stuff, and the second time it was like, wait a minute, why did we just randomly lose, 2 minutes worth of video here? Like, the camera just cuts out and all of a sudden he's inside opening a beer. It's like, I get they didn't want to show him walking back into the house, but it does kind of go against the whole found footage thing where he's supposed to be constantly recording what he's doing.
It was edited by the ghosts.
Yeah, or same with Ride in the Park. Like, there are moments where all of a sudden, he's just moving around somewhere else. It's like, well, that GoPro should be always recording. I don't know why we're, missing random chunks of footage.
They had to edit it down, the person had to edit down whoever, put it to a VHS tape.
I guess so, yeah.
The
it seems like a lot
VHS
of work.
tapes of all time. That was one thing I was actually really disappointed by, as much as I like the movie, is that they completely ditched the idea of any of the shorts looking like they're on VHS, which was something I liked in the first movie.
Yeah,
they only did that a little bit in the first movie.
They were talking about it in the first movie. They said they really wanted like a grungy, old school feeling kind of movie, and then this time around they said, "Fuck it, we want like reds and red cameras and just fucking nice quality." So
it's kind of disappointing because they do put the VHS filter over the footage for the end credits, and it, especially with Slumber Party Alien Abduction, makes it look even more fucked up and scary.
Yeah, I think it's a great way to kind of hide some of these films. Like, any sort of special effect would look better with that VHS kind of filter over it, I think.
Yeah, they wouldn't have to do it that much. Just a slight grain to it, I think would have been cool.
Yeah, like, remember the trailer for the first VHS?
Yeah.
Like, I remember that one seeming like it was fairly grainy and fuzzy and thinking, oh, this is perfect. And maybe it was a little cleaner in the actual film, I can't remember.
It was a little bit. I remember the Succubus one being particularly clear.
Yeah. So, I mean, maybe in the third one they'll go back to being a little bit more gritty with it, a little bit more old school, but, who knows.
I'd like to see one that's actually done with, recorded on VHS. I think one of the segments in the first one were actually done like that.
Yeah,
at least was supposed to be.
I would definitely be down for that. It'd be awesome. They actually, I wonder how it would look, but they released a special edition of VHS 2 on VHS. Like, you buy in a combo pack with the Blu-ray and the DVD. And I wonder how that would look if you watched the VHS copy of it.
I would so buy that.
It wasn't that expensive. I think it was like $30 for the combo pack with all three versions of the movie stuck together.
I like how that's a thing that happens now with some of these old school movies.
Yeah.
VHS, House of the Devil.
I mean, I don't actually own a VCR anymore, but I could find someone with one.
But you could have it.
It would be a really neat little decoration, I think, having a VHS of a brand new movie.
A VHS of the Avengers.
Hey, I'm a rich boy.
Ooh,
like
I buy media I don't
back.
even watch. Hey, there's a purpose to bringing vinyl back. The sound quality is much better. Plus, I mean, look at the art. It's huge. It's fantastic.
Well, I can't argue with that now, can I?
I defend my choice to go back to vinyl.
Old man Flexo.
Old man Flexo and his phonograph.
Let's stay focused here.
Oh, okay.
Park zombies.
Right, a ride in the park. Just going through here one by one. I thought the idea was really, really clever. Like, using the GoPro to record the whole thing from the zombie's point of view. Plus, the gore was fantastic, seeing all the guts and stuff.
It's like a cool anecdote kind of short film.
Yeah, that's exactly what I want out of my anthology. Like, feel free, experiment, do something weird that you can never get away with in a full film.
Yeah, this was the one that really surprised me, because in the first few minutes, I was not enthusiastic at all. I was like, oh, it's a zombie story, but this time it's found footage. Okay. As soon as the protagonist becomes a zombie and the whole thing is just from his point of view, I was like, yes! Something I haven't seen before. It's like, especially with zombie movies, it's so hard to be innovative because there's only so many ways you can do that story. Like, it was a delight to see a zombie story from a perspective you've never seen before.
Exactly. I mean, with all the Walking Dead stuff out there right now, it's kind of like, zombies, whatever. I mean, yeah, you can get good gore and designs and all that, but more or less the stories will be pretty similar. So having this big twist on it is fantastic.
Then showing up to someplace else where they also have a camera.
Getting to see like a children's party destroyed by zombies was pretty fun.
Pretty awesome. I also like my favorite zombie in that was the one who was walking like on top of his own intestines.
Yeah.
Kept stepping on them as he was walking.
Yeah.
It was fucking cool.
Plus the found footage effect works so well, like when the guy is turning into a zombie and you just see him puking all the blood and you can just hear him dry heaving. It's so effective from that first person point of view. Like, oh man. Normally puking in film doesn't bother me, but that was kind of like, oh, this sucks.
It's like it's coming out of me.
Oh, my stomach's cramping right now just imagining all the dry heaving.
Also just watching zombies, like, get together in a party. Like, slowly
Watching
form
zombies interact.
Yeah, that was the most amazing thing. Just look at each other and walk up to each other.
Recognize that each other are zombies.
That great shot of the zombie with the barbecue fork stuck through his face.
I also like the little, like, change in zombie mythology at the end where he becomes self-aware and then blows his brains out.
He's saved by the power of love.
Just a little
Thank you,
something
iPhone.
new. Like, that was just a little something new
So, yeah, I mean, that was one of the issues I had with VHS 2 was it seems like all the monsters at some point become kind of like shambling zombie-like type things. I mean, we do get
weird.
zombies in Safe Haven. We do get zombies in Right in the Park.
Yeah, I felt
Even
like they
the
were almost,
aliens become a little zombie-like.
yeah, I almost felt like they were building some kind of like weird mythology there, with all of them kind of being weirdly similar.
Yeah, I think it was just a coincidence because everyone kind of went and did their own thing, and they all just happened to pick something similar.
Yeah.
But having this one, oddly enough, with actual zombies in it, and it feels completely different than all the other ones with not zombies that shamble around, was kind of a fun twist.
It is weird to think that all of these movies take place in the same universe.
Yeah.
Like somewhere there's a
But
zombie
even-
apocalypse. Someplace,
Like even when
you
the
know,
world ends in Safe Haven, that's still in continuity.
Thank God it happened in Indonesia. We've still got a couple more months.
just demons taking over people and singing. This Baphomet runs around.
But I guess we should spend some time talking about Safe Haven if we have to.
Fuck you, Flexo.
No, I know how much you care for this one, Mike, so I'll let you take lead.
I mean, it's the longest one. Actually, it's the one that feels like the most just like an enclosed movie that would just, if you just watched it outside of VHS, it would work perfectly fine.
Yeah, like this was the highlight reel of that film.
Yeah. Like all the rest feel like they kind of need to be inside the wraparound of VHS. This one's just kind of like a standalone. It can very easily just be expanded into a full feature.
There's so much crazy shit going on, considering it. You know, how long does it run? Like what, 30 minutes? Not
Not
even.
bad, I think. I just rewatched it actually.
They get
There's
a
so
little
much-
bit of everything. There's demon spawn. There's crazy cult guys. There's exploding abdomens.
You know, going into it, I
Romantic
thought
intrigue.
Yeah.
yes,
Zombie girls.
ooh, yeah, which is always good. When going into it, I thought it was going to be a like camera crew being like in a cult when they all just start committing suicide and going crazy.
Yeah.
I was completely taken off guard by the demon that was born.
Yeah.
Same here.
Like, well, this is a fucking wrinkle.
What?
Like, as soon as the thing starts crawling on the ceiling, that's never explained, by the way.
Yeah, it just crawls
This
off.
weird shit going on. Like, why did that guy explode?
Oh.
Father
You're
was
filled with the power of Christ.
Father was fucking awesome, by the way. Just little guy just being over the top with a switchblade.
I think my favorite part was the guy with the shotgun. It was a pleasure to meet you, sir, and then blows his own brains out.
There's just something so Asian about it.
Like they're all so polite as they're going around murdering each other. Sir, please wait your turn.
Like, you didn't even really need to bring in the supernatural element. You could have had the movie be just that, and it would have still been effective.
Yeah, I mean, they actually lost me a little bit with some of the CGI and the not great demon costume.
Yeah, once again, I think like just a slight VHS filter would have covered that up nicely.
Yeah, like, when you see like Baphomet kind of like walking around, like slamming people against walls, and it's kind of fun, you know, the camera's kind of whipping around a little bit. That looks great.
Yeah, then it's fine.
It's like the last shot of him at the very end is like, why did they put that in there?
That really long neck.
Yeah, it's like this. This looks like someone's holding a fake head off camera.
With CGI wings on the side.
Yeah, it's like, why did you put that in? Like,
That's
Was it
disappointing
supposed
because you could have just shown the horns and the top of the head, and it would have been effective.
And hearing it go, Papa.
I like that. That's what Baphomet calls his father. Dearest Papa.
But yeah, I mean, I do love the fact that this segment, I was counting on the Slumber Party Alien Massacre Extravaganza to be the craziest. Because, you know, Jason Eisner, hobo with a shotgun. The guy doesn't make stable films. And yet he gets out crazied by Safe Haven.
From the director of The Raid.
Yeah, I was not expecting that, which was pretty cool. Whatever the fuck he feels like doing, just let him do it. It'll be entertaining.
pretty much. What was with that weird abortion room?
I don't think I want to know.
My favorite thing about that portion of the short is that it just feels like you're playing an old first-person shooter, like System Shock or Doom 3.
Yes. The pin cameras was a pretty genius idea.
Oh yeah.
And no need to explain why a guy's running around still holding a camera in that mess. Like, it's just part of his shirt.
Yeah. Like, even in the wraparound, they have to do one of those, our employer told us part of the deal is to record everything. I'm just like, oh, okay, whatever. Gets the, footage going.
I accept it.
Yeah, whereas this one, it's a documentary crew, so of course they're going to be filming in the first place, and they'll have plenty of cameras. And the hidden camera's just, perfect. Now they've got a reason to always be recording, even if they don't want to be.
Yeah, the only camera that was kind of thrown off was the one in the back of the car. That was just there and on.
Yeah, just because.
I mean, I like to think it was because they didn't trust these people not to steal anything. The only thing I didn't like about that was the charms all looked exactly like the Blair Witch.
Yeah, which is funny because the Blair Witch, Eduardo Sanchez was one of the directors on Blair Witch, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I guess he was.
Yeah, so you would assume he would be the one with the, little stickman figures, but no, not at all.
They put that in as a screw you to him. By the way, what the fuck is so terrifying about Asian women smiling broadly?
God, is they're all, laughing as they're, hauling her off to the infirmary?
The scariest thing in that segment.
They look like they're having a hell of a time. Ah!
Father's just singing happily.
In a movie
underwear.
with everything else, all sorts of supernatural monsters, yeah, that's probably the creepiest.
It's when they come out of the shadows all wearing black and grabber.
You think there's something on their face, but they're just smiling.
They've all got their Shelley Duvall faces on.
Also, I really like the, in the actual, I guess, birthing room, I don't know what else to fucking call it, the way they did it, they, managed to put music to it by having fluorescent lights and having them hum in a certain way where it sounds like they scored the scene.
It is genius.
Speaking of which, when I was watching Phase 1 clinical trials, for a second I was pissed off because during the sex scene there's music. And I'm like, what? You can't just insert score? And then I realized the girl actually put the music on before she started fucking the main guy. I'm like, alright, that's fair enough.
The only thing that pissed me off about that scene was that it blacked out.
That's why I wanted the tape of it so bad.
Just wanted to see creepy first-person sex. With ghosts watching.
I'm pretty sure there's a huge section of the internet that's devoted to that very idea.
There is. I could go into details, but I'm not going to.
Also with ghosts watching.
This is a mini bop mic. We don't have time for this. It's okay. There'll be an extended cut.
That's the one tangent we don't have time for.
Look, I already had to sacrifice a proper intro to this episode just so we could get everything in.
Look, did you ever say your name?
Yeah, I did.
Okay then.
So there.
Nice to meet you, Flexo.
It's entirely possible we're not even recording with Flexo. Who are you?
Ooh.
He's the case keeper.
So anyway, slumber party, alien abduction.
Right. So, James, is it true that you're terrified of alien abductions?
Absolutely.
Tell us more.
Even though I don't believe in aliens at all. I still have this weird...
Wait. You don't believe there's aliens anywhere, even light years away?
I believe in life somewhere in the universe that would perhaps be too unrecognizable to call life by our standards.
And you don't believe they would make spaceships to come to Earth and kidnap children?
You see, the universe does not function the way you and I perceive it. You see, the universe... Here, let me draw you a diagram.
Okay.
What Hero's getting at is he's being a fool so he can sleep at night by not believing in aliens.
Pretty much.
I'm thinking here, James is actually E.T., and he is afraid of them coming back and sticking him on the mothership and going back to E.T.'s shitty world.
E.T.'s world was pretty goddamn shitty.
There. Or love.
I mean, seriously, E.T. was the king of their world. How shitty is that? Fucking retard.
I still subscribe to the theory that E.T. was just the fuck up of that group. Who just gets left behind at every planet. It's entirely possible that they ditched them.
See,
until he called them and made them feel guilty.
I'm still mad at E.T. because when I went to Universal Studios, I managed to get on every ride there until it came to closing time, and I only had time for one more ride. It was either E.T. the ride or King Kong the ride. And my mom's like, oh man, I didn't pick any of the rides all day. I want to go to E.T. And we're like, okay, Mom. and we went on E.T. the ride instead of King Kong the ride, and it was fucking bogus. They put you on these bicycles, and then they're like, oh no, we gotta get away from the police, and there are bright lights. You go around your bikes, you meet E.T., you go to the E.T.'s planet, which is a bunch of, like, singing fucking flowers, and it's just bullshit all around. I could have been seeing King Kong do his shit.
The King Kong ride is fucking awesome.
It's not. It doesn't even exist anymore. They replaced it.
I know.
I missed my chance.
Second time
That's what
I
you
went,
get for following your heart.
My mother's heart.
It's amazing. You're in a trolley car. He comes up to it and swings it around. It's fucking amazing.
He throws Jessica Lange around.
I am glad that I did get to go on the Back to the Future ride before they retired it.
Oh, I'm so jealous.
It was amazing.
My childhood dream.
It was I don't want to brag and I don't want to make you feel bad, but it was the best part of Universal Studios.
Why are you making me feel bad, Fluxo?
I can't help it. I'm just, oh man, I'm in Nirvana right now just thinking about being in that DeLorean.
Anyway, aliens do exist, but they're not
aliens.
Aliens.
But the funny thing is, this was hyped up by Mike as like he was convinced this would be the segment that would absolutely fuck my shit up.
Well, you said Fire in the Sky fucks with your head, so.
I have not seen that movie since I was 6 years old. I don't intend to.
So wait. Is it
next one-side commentary will be?
Are you frightened of aliens as a concept, or just like aliens in general? Do you watch Men in Black and just kind of be like, no? What's the fear here?
No, it's a primal childhood phobia of just waking up in my bed one night and seeing something staring at me and that thing just grabbing me and taking me away.
So you've been abducted and you still don't believe in aliens?
It's entirely possible that I've been abducted.
He does believe.
I did once have a vivid dream of being abducted by aliens.
Turns out it was just Bigfoot.
Then woke up with sleep paralysis. And I was like 8 or 9 at the time, so that fucked my shit up for a while.
From everything I've heard, sleep paralysis is pretty fucking horrible.
It's terrible. That was the one time I'd ever had it, so I didn't know what was going on.
I once had sleep paralysis after having a nightmare about Dracula. Actually, it wasn't really a nightmare. It was just a dream that involved Dracula. It was a perfectly fine dream. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it.
He was actually Dracula the accountant. He was just around.
The fucked up thing was...
Go on.
I was going to say, the fucked up thing was I had an ear infection at the time, too, so the sound was all fucked up in the room, so... Oh.
Did it sound like this movie? Was it just blown out? Aliens?
They're Inception aliens.
That is one of the things I've heard people complaining about this segment, is just loud noises and then all of a sudden aliens pop up.
Yeah,
which is
how
valid.
Most of the alien abduction things work anyway.
Yeah, I wasn't really annoyed by it.
That's how aliens roll.
Plus, the alien effect was just... The aliens look fucking awesome in this. It was simple, but fantastic.
Slender Man aliens.
Exactly. Those big, long fingers.
Somehow they made Greys look more scary.
Yeah, well, as I was saying, like, Safe Haven was more fucked up and scary, which surprised me, but this is still an insanely fucked up short.
Especially...
Viscerally, it's just...
How did you guys feel about the ending of it? Because I know... A lot of people get pissed off in any film when an animal dies, but normally it's like off camera or it's like you hear a whimper. This
I did not like it.
Graphically shows the dog dying on camera.
I did not like it.
The dog could have lived.
It died. I did not like it.
It could have lived. Science was going on.
Considering like how the rest of the movie normally like tries to do something fun or have a fun twist at parts, maybe not Safe Haven so much, but
Safe Haven and with Pawpaw, so it's
I guess
okay.
Yeah, which is silly enough to be kind of entertaining.
Yeah,
this just feels like a really... It doesn't even fit in with the rest of the short, considering all the shit that goes down with the kids at the slumber party.
Yeah, the rest of the shorts all have kind of a Tales from the Crypt, wink at the camera ending. This one is just fucking brutal.
The dog should have lived. They could have had the dog.
Tail.
They could have had the dog sit there, put a crappy CGI spaceship flying away. It would have been amazing. No.
Yeah, so I thought that was kind of weird, and just... I don't know, the tone switches so much in the second half.
Yeah, I do love how fucking innocent and hijinksy the beginning was. With the most realistic sibling relationship I've ever seen in a movie.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden a kid is being drowned in a sleeping bag.
That was terrifying.
It was, yeah. It was like, damn, that was pretty effective.
Aliens just walking through the woods is Ugh.
Or the alien on the dock. It's kind of weird because, like, well, why don't you just fucking get up and walk over there? But it is terrifying, too, with the strobe lights and just seeing the alien inching closer.
The alien knows what's terrifying. It's not gonna fuck around.
They're masters of fear.
Who's a scary son of a bitch? I'm a scary son of a bitch.
Apparently they are hungry motherfuckers, too, because that one at the end just could not wait to take a bite out of that girl's shoulder.
Yeah, doesn't that throw off anyone else? Like, I was watching and I'm like, wait, why the fuck
I was
are these
weirded
things
out by
eating
that.
people like zombies?
I'm gonna make a new headcanon for this though, that their bite is paralyzing, and they were merely just paralyzing her with some kind of venom from their mouths.
No, I still say that one alien was just really fucking hungry.
They're all just
Okay.
taking her back home for a snack.
God damn it, Ralph! Stop eating everybody.
Come on,
I'm sorry.
share with
We-
everyone else.
We need that for space science.
My blood sugar's low, come on.
The only thing I didn't really like about the short was I felt like the beginning was too long.
Maybe a little bit, but I kind of like the way it, even though you know fucked up shit is coming, it kind of lures you into almost a false sense of security. Like, you almost expect some kind of hijinks is gonna happen whenever the aliens show up. Like, oh, they're gonna prank the aliens now. Oh, dear God, no.
No, it's horrible.
Also, did they film this in the 90s?
Those were some 90s fucking kids with their
Weird.
robot games.
Although, like Mike said before, the order of the tapes could have been a little different, because this feels like a really weird one to end on.
Yeah, I don't understand why it ended on this. Should've
Yeah, it's a
gone-
very much a next to last movie.
Yeah, like Safe Haven feels like it should be the closer. Then again, maybe they wanted like their big money to be in the middle of the film to keep it from sagging.
I guess, but I mean, this one was still pretty big for the most part.
No. I mean, it's my second favorite.
You can't go wrong with aliens.
I don't know. I'm hoping for VHS 3 instead of aliens, mummies.
Oh, that would be amazing.
footage
Found
mummies.
footage mummies. Oh,
Think about that. That's
fucking awesome.
cool, right? Because think of all the other things we've gotten. We've gotten more or less a vampire and the succubus. We've gotten ghosts, aliens, zombies. I'm sure I'm missing like 3 different things here. Slashers. No mummies. Father, yeah. Indonesian cults. We haven't done Bigfoot. We haven't done mummies.
Or werewolves.
Or the Loch Ness Monster.
Or Jersey Devil. Oh, please let there be a Jersey
Oh.
Devil one. Let there be a Jersey Devil one.
That'd be
And
cool.
I'm still stuck on the mummy idea. With it just being like an old like an old camera from the 40s. Like it's in black and white.
Found footage. Like they literally found it in the desert.
Or can they just do it like Frankenstein's Army, where they say it's an old camera, but it's crystal clear and in color?
Yeah, perfect sound. We haven't seen a Frankenstein's monster either. They should just do VHS 3 as like the Universal Monsters.
Oh god, they take a camera to the Black Lagoon.
Oh my god. Oh, my found footage Gillman. Tell me you wouldn't want to see that.
I just want to throw this out there. Found footage Medusa.
You can never look at her. It's cheap on special effects. As would a found footage Invisible Man. You just feel his presence in the room. He breathes heavily.
In a way, they kind of did that with the first VHS. That
With
weird
the haunted
Slender
house?
Man ripoff.
Oh.
Oh, there's
I
that.
love Video Man. I still want that to be expanded into its own movie.
I wish they would make a new VHS segment with something supernatural and replace Ty West segment from VHS 1.
God, if only.
How was that even a segment?
Apparently he started working on his, like everyone just started working on their stuff individually, and when they got back together he realized everyone else did something supernatural and he didn't know that was going to be the rule. So he's just like, well, too late.
But isn't the rule to do something entertaining in the slightest?
You would think.
Because what
And I
the
love-
fuck was that?
I love
that
Ty
blew
West,
my-
and I'm not even a fan of that one.
I know, it blew my mind when I found out Ty West directed that. I assumed he directed the Haunted House one, or the first segment. It's like, what was that?
You kind of phoned it in, man. Not your best. I even like the actors in that one, in their other stuff, but it was like, no, this is not doing it for me.
Yeah. Goddamn lesbian lover killers.
Just 15 minutes of a couple
Oh.
of a couple vacationing.
I forgot, we also got, found footage of lesbian killers.
Hey.
Well, VHS 3 is going to be all lesbian killers, even the mummy story. Lesbian mummies.
Lesbian crime murder.
One of the good things between VHS 1 and 2 is there's less segments in 2. which is a big
Definitely. And they're all, like, for
Yeah,
the most part, the right length.
VHS 1
Okay,
did feel like it ran too long, so this was a good pace.
Like, Safe Haven needed to be that length. Ride in the Park didn't need to be any longer.
Yeah, it just works the way it is.
It seems like every segment in VHS 2 is the better version of a crappier movie.
It's the best
Like-
part about Anthology. Cut out all the fat, just the good stuff.
Like, Phase 1 Clinical Trials is the good version of The Eye. You know, Ride in the Park is the good version of Diary of the Dead. Safe Haven is the
Yep.
better version of Red State.
Yeah.
Slumber Party Alien Abduction is the better version of any alien movie.
What about Alien?
But those aren't abducting aliens, those are rape aliens.
Okay, you gotta specify.
Abducting aliens are rape aliens, too. They take your semen.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with maybe we should specify this too is better than Signs.
All right, then. I think that's
I'll
good.
give it that.
Okay, I'm glad we agree.
Much better than Signs.
Yeah. or Signs.
I feel sorry for Signs.
Why?
It's like the deformed child in the family that gets kept in the basement. It's like, there are worse kids than that one. It
No,
can't help
no.
that it looks different.
Everything after Signs just went downhill for M. Night.
Oh, we should do an episode on The Village. Be amazing.
I do
Come
like
Flexo.
Devil, although he
It's
didn't direct that. So,
He did not.
yeah. He just produced.
You watched Devil?
Yeah.
So who's Satan?
Oh fuck.
The old
I
lady.
can't even remember.
It was the elevator itself.
Dun, dun, dun.
That movie lost me whenever the superstitious Hispanic guy, who everyone listens to whenever he talks about the devil because he's Hispanic, runs into the room crying, grabs toast, and throws it on the floor, and it lands jelly side down, and he screams. Because that means the devil is doing his work.
Interesting note. I don't remember if they directed it, but one of the guys behind Poughkeepsie Tapes is involved in that. I think he directed it.
Oh really?
Yeah. May have just been produced or written, but I think he directed it.
Huh.
That's disappointing.
It is.
Well, I mean, Devil's not fantastic. It's not, gonna change the face of horror to anyone who watches it. But it's entertaining. It's kind of like a Twilight Zone episode dragged out into an hour and a half.
Let's not talk about Devil in this.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Yeah,
This is a mini bop, and I think we've been going for
almost 50 minutes.
almost 50 minutes. So maybe we should start mini-ing.
But in closing,
Final thoughts here, gentlemen.
I was really worried about. I was looking forward to VHS 2, but I was still kind of worried about watching it because I've never felt the need to rewatch the first VHS, and if I do, it'll be a lot of fast forwarding.
You can just scene skip right through a Ty West segment.
Yeah, pretty much.
But the rest
And
I
the-
would watch.
And that sick thing that happened to Emily when she was younger.
Oh, yeah, actually, you can skip that. I always forget that one exists.
Most do.
Does have the best title.
And
It
boobs.
sounds like a Stephen King short story.
Yeah, it does.
If only it was good.
Creepshow 3. All found footage.
But VHS 2 is just good all around. Even if you don't really like something that much, it's still just the movie's just trying to ultimately just want you to have fun. So
Yeah.
even if it's not something that hits your fancy like Phase 1, it's still just fun to watch, and you'll never not want to watch it.
Yeah, for the most part, this one feels like it's a little bit more fun. It's a little shorter, so it's, easier to sit through. I think it's a big improvement over the first one, and I actually like the first one quite a bit.
Yeah, I watched VHS and VHS 2 back to back
Ooh,
the night before Halloween. Getting my ookie spooky on.
the night before Halloween. There we go, another title for our
Devil's
band.
Night. But yeah. So I think I like VHS 1 a little better, just not having a lot of time to be disappointed by it, because I watched the second one immediately afterwards.
Mhm.
But I was expecting the second one to be better. I was not expecting it to be as good of a movie as it was. Like, it was 100 times better. Like, it felt like VHS 1 was a really good idea,
Yeah,
and VHS 2 is the full realization of that idea.
definitely.
So if you had to pick between VHS 1 and VHS 2, favorite segment?
Definitely Safe Haven.
Safe Haven?
But we're doing the entire series.
Okay. Mike, Safe Haven?
Safe Haven.
I think mine might be the Ghost House from the end of VHS 1.
That's my
I think
second.
I think that might be my second one.
That one to me is like the most fun. Plus, you actually have characters who are not complete assholes, which was a fun change in that one.
Yeah.
I was so relieved whenever they weren't horrible people. It's like, oh, thank God. Some humanity in this movie.
Oh god, they're gonna die.
And you never get tired of hands coming out of walls.
No, that was an amazing effect.
It really was.
Yeah, I was convinced I was going to enjoy VHS 1 just from watching the trailer and seeing that. I was like, yep, sign me up.
I thought it was going to be an entire movie with hands coming out of walls.
I was a little disappointed we didn't get more hands out of walls.
I saw that in another movie, Grave Encounters. They had that effect. It's hands coming out of walls.
Was that movie any good? It got
Not great. It did. I haven't seen the sequel.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. It wasn't like amazing, but it was fun for the most part. It's on Instant Watch.
Well, maybe I'll give it a shot. Anyways, box office poll.
Box Office Pulp recommends VHS 2.
You stole my line, Mike, just because I got
did.
Buttermouth.
You did. Well, you've lost your fucking chance, didn't you?
Yeah, that's true. Fair enough.
I just stood by and watched it happen.
Well, thanks for joining us, everybody. That's a wrap.
And like that, he's gone.
We have a sign-off now?
We always had a sign off.
Oh, fuck me.
I just forgot to do the thing where I tell everyone to listen to all the other podcasts. I guess we could still record that if we wanted to and sneak it in.
We could, but we're not going to.
Oh, thank God.